Alright, figured I'd take a break from all the Hassan hate that I've been doing with the Why I Dislike Hassan Piker series of videos. Quite frankly, the next one is going to be the last one. I did promise 4 parts, even though I did cover all my talking points. Today I'm doing a Dark Souls tier list. And it's all the bosses from the entire trilogy. I didn't do any reorganizing for any of these, and on top of that, like, they do seem to have very artistically well designed, like, whoever made this tier list, they've either found a person that makes good fan art or they are really good at making fan art. And it doesn't look like they really did much when it came down to organizing these between games. So I'm going to try to find, like, each boss in the order that they go into. Actually, I probably should have reorganized this, but and never mind. I'll just do it as is. Too much time, too much editing. Alright, looks like the first boss they got here is the Pursuer. I don't like the fact that you wind up having to fight the Pursuer over and over again. So I'm going to just add a row below D tier, and I'm just going to call it like the. Oh, looks like I had caps lock on. I'm just gonna call it the Y tier. Like, why do we have to fight this guy over and over again? And I'm going to put him into the Y tier. Overall, pretty decent boss. A bit hard for when you face him in the game. But, you know, if you're able to parry, which I'm shit at, you get the ballistas. I'd put him in the Y tier because, like, why do you have to fight him so many times? I get, like, lore-wise that he pursues you. But, yeah, not that good of a boss fight. Overall, just, okay then. So, the Champion's Gravekeeper. Alright, so if you played the Ashes of Ariandel DLC, this is one of 2 bosses that are in that DLC. Spilled some water on my belly. But you don't get like a boss soul from beating it. Instead, you get a sword and shield combo that's honestly not that good. And the Champion's Ashes, which you can use for PvP, like, it's outside of Fight Clubs how you get it. And then, like, even then, if you do the Ashes of, like, hold on, Painted World of Ariandel, the Ring City. Yes, the Ring City is the DLC, but if you don't get it from killing him, you're also able to get the same exact ashes if you follow Lap, aka Patches' storyline. So, I'll also put him in Y tier because, like, he's completely pointless. Alrighty then. The Belfry Gargoyles. Okay then. For where you fight them in the game, like, they're pretty interesting. And like, they each got like a slightly different move set. You're able to also farm them for different items. So, like, I'd say B tier, like, pretty solid boss for where you fight them in the game. Like, they are almost as perfect as you can get for, like, the difficulty scaling for them. Alright. Oh, the Burnt Ivory King. Yeah, no, easy S tier. I love the fact that in the DLC, like, that you're able to collect his knights that weren't corrupted by the Flame of Frenzy. Not the Flame of Frenzy. The Flames of Chaos, like, and they wind up helping you out throughout the fight. Yeah, pretty solid boss. Putting him in S tier. Alright then, Champion Gundyr. You know, like, I do appreciate the fact that they do change up his moveset a little, but the fact that he's a dupe boss, like, I'm not too big of a fan of. Though, I gotta say, like, after killing him, being able to, I enjoy the time travel that you're fighting him in his prime versus the injured, corrupted version of him you fight at the beginning of the game. So you know what? I'll also put him in B tier. Like, I typically don't like repeat bosses, but he's pretty solid. And like, I could say the same thing like for the repeat bosses, because you do fight a version of the Belfry Gargoyles in Dark Souls 2, and you also do fight some Belfry Gargoyles when you get to Anor Londo. But like, I just can't complain too much because of like how iconic they were towards the beginning of the game and their perfect placement. Alrighty then. The Executioner's Chariot, I'm not too big of a fan of. It's just run around in circles, killing guys that are shooting cheap shots at you and then pulling a lever. And then you fight him one-on-one. I'll put him in D tier. Alrighty then. Ceaseless Discharge. Okay then. The baby that you punch until it falls off a cliff. It's a gimmick boss, and like, the first time I killed it, I didn't know about that thing where you're able to get him to jump to the ledge. So I basically was like circling around, like taking cheap shots at him with magic and arrows, and that was how I beat him the first time around. I didn't know about that cheese, but now essentially he is just a bunch of free souls I get at the beginning of, or like the middle of any Dark Souls run that I do, where it's just like, okay then, killed Quelaag, now it's time to punch a baby. I'll put him in C tier because like, I love the lore surrounding him, the fact that he's just kind of like a bunch of free souls essentially, like, and if you do decide to fight him honorably, like, it is a little bit annoying, but you know, it's free souls more or less. Yorm the Giant. Oh my god, I love Sigmar's questline and him coming in to fight alongside you, and he's just like, Yorm, old friend. Yeah, A tier, very cinematic. I love the gimmick fight. I scared the crap out of a guy who used to be my friend, who later on turned out to be a pedophile, so, you know, I kind of disassociated myself with him. But he got scared. I remember one time I had a fully maxed out Storm Ruler, and I was training him for PvP because we were about to enter a PvP heavy area. And I was just like, alright dude, like, we're just going to practice, that way you know how to like counter different types of weapons. And I brought out the Storm Ruler as like my great sword, and like, as soon as like I started charging it up, he was just like, what's that? What's it doing? What's it doing? And it, like, he was freaking out. It was genuinely hilarious. Like, I might disassociate myself with the guy, but you know, that was hilarious when it did happen all those years ago. Let's see then. This is the regular Smelter Demon, which has, in my opinion, one of the worst boss runbacks in the entire series, just because of the fact that more often than not, I just wind up clearing out all of the knights before I'm able to enter and like get them to perma despawn. And even then, like, the fight is a bit difficult for its placement in the game. He hits way too hard, way too tanky. And then, as it turns out, you're actually able to completely skip his boss fight. And the only thing that you get out of his boss fight, aside from a cool set of armor and a boss soul you can use to get one of the coolest looking weapons in the game, like, is a bonfire. So, you know what? I dislike him personally, but like, he's got a sick design, his move pool is good. I'm putting him in B tier. The Ancient Dragon. Good lord, is this boss fight annoying. I've killed him like only a handful of times, and all you get from killing him is a giant soul, which winds up making the boss fight against Vendrick a little bit easier if you choose to mercy kill the old man. And it's just basically run around, poke its foot, and then like, it has to be the most boring boss fight when it comes down to dragon boss fights in the entire Souls series. So in that, I'm putting him in the Y tier. Alrighty then. The Twin Dragon Riders. Okay then. That's actually interesting because, like, I don't like the fact that one of them will be doing pot shots at you, so, like, that's slightly annoying. And overall, like, just fighting Dragon Rider enemies, they're not too powerful, but I'll put them in D tier. Actually, maybe a little bit above the Chariot, just because, like, it is interesting. It does try to make sure that you pay attention. It's not the worst enemy boss fight in the game, clearly. Alright. The Abyss Watchers. Okay then. I really liked the Abyss Watchers. I don't think I've died to them in like 3 years, but I remember the first time I beat them, I was so fucking excited. I was like, this is my first Lord of Cinder I killed, and like that to me, like, is one of my favorite Dark Souls memories, just flat out, period. It is such a cool fight. You hear them clashing like right before you even entering, so these people are fighting to the death before you even enter. Phase 1 is great. One of them joins you in whooping their asses. And then, like, the whole phase 2 where he absorbs the blood of all of his fallen comrades that he has slain and comes at you with a flaming sword. That is such an iconic fight. Yeah, Bed of Chaos, literally worst boss of the series. Alright then. Oh, the Demon Prince. That is such a good fight. Like, in my opinion, one of the hardest boss fights in Dark Souls 3. Heck, I specifically, like, anytime I'm going up against them, will always make, like, a Black Knight weapon become, like, one of my main weapons. Shoot. Me and my friends, we literally, inside of the Poison Swamp area, that one Black Knight that's there, we will literally spend hours grinding so that we could get the Black Knight Greatsword, and we all make that kind of like our main weapon throughout the entire run, specifically for this boss. The only time I haven't killed him using a like Black Knight weapon was probably like last fall, I believe. I got like a Flamberge, which is like a super rare drop, and that was my main weapon throughout the game. And I managed to kill him with a bleed proc. Like, it is such a cool fight. The before and after phase 1 thing, like, you have to kill 2 demons, and then, like, depending on which demon you wind up killing first, also alters his moveset. That's pretty cool. The Dancer of the Boreal Valley. I'm going to probably put them in A tier. I'm going to put them, like, a little bit before Yorm, just because, like, the music is great. It is such a, like, beautiful fight. And apparently there is an arrow cheese, which, like, I didn't stream myself doing this, but I found out about it inside of a YouTube video. So in my bow only run, because I was having trouble with Aldrich, I used the bow cheese, where you basically, like, enter the fog wall, but also somehow don't trigger the boss fight. It's a glitch, and I killed her using that glitch and was able to eventually beat Aldrich because of it. Because I was able to get myself the necessary Titanite chunks to make sure that my composite bow did, like, a shit ton more damage than what it was doing. So, the fight is good. The spin to win thing, like hiding behind pillars, the fact that the whole arena winds up catching fire as you do that. Like, it is one of the most memorable fights. It's a shame that the boss weapon is complete and utter ass, and the armor doesn't really look too good on the male body type, but you know what, that is what it is. Sif the Great Wolf. Not the Great Grey Wolf. Depressing ass fight. I loved when I streamed me fighting Sif after like, I always kill Sif before I do the DLC, but I did the DLC first, killed Artorias, and then, like, got the depression cutscene for fighting Sif, and like S is for depression. Alrighty then. Elna the Squalid King. I think this is the one that will summon Velstadt, I think is his name. Let me see then. He's got to be down here somewhere. Like, I recognize the guy better from just, like, looking at him. Yeah, Velstadt. She's the one that summons Velstadt. I don't like the fact that she summons multiple enemies. Her move pool in of itself is pretty ass. If it wasn't for the fact that she has Velstadt basically join in on jumping you, her move pool's not too good. Not that big of a fan of her boss fight. Just because of, like, the fact that she could summon multiple skeletons and then Velstadt and then just have Velstadt kill you for her. I'm going to have to put her in C tier below Ceaseless Discharge. Like, I'd say, like, fighting Ceaseless without the cheese is easier than fighting her, but that's only if she summons Velstadt. If she doesn't summon Velstadt, then she is far weaker than Ceaseless. Demon Fire Sage. I'm going to put this in the Y tier. So it's a repeat boss of a repeat boss that lore-wise has a lot of significance. And that's the part that pisses me off. Lore-wise, she has so much going for her, but just in execution, having it be a repeat boss, like, makes it such a disappointment. Pinwheel. Okay, then. I like the fact they were able to randomly get one of the masks. Doing the, like, jump thing to get to it is also incredibly good. First time killing him, like, I was down to my last Estus before I even entered the arena because of those damn bone wheel skeletons. And it was just because it was like, one bell is above and one is below. And so I wound up in the Tomb of the Giants, like, trying to figure out where I was supposed to go, and then it was just like, oh, I went the wrong way. And Pinwheel was the first boss I killed before I realized that I was going the wrong way. Though I like the random mask gimmick. Overall, pretty weak boss for what he is, but relatively enjoyable. I'm putting him in C tier. Like, his move pool's ass, but the fact that you're able to kill this mid-game enemy early game and get yourself a piece of equipment that you're likely going to carry the entire run. Alright. The Duke's Dear Freya. I don't like the whole head gimmick where you're only able to damage it from hitting its head. Like, you go to one side, hit its head. Go to the other side, hit its head. Carry a torch so that the spiders that are around its ankles ignore you, and just keep on hitting its head. It's cool that it's coming into Elden Ring Night Ring, but I hate it mechanically. But I'm saying that, like, it is better. Well, it's better than this, and, like, lore-wise, it's super cool. But I gotta say, like, I prefer this boss fight more than this. Alright. Oh, the Sabertooth Invisible Cat from the Dark Souls 2 Ice DLC. Alright, yeah. I'm going to... Like, it's a pretty difficult fight. And it's, like, pretty interesting. Like, I'd say that, like, it's definitely nowhere near the Ivory King in terms of quality. And its gimmick, like, oh, you have... I just liked that DLC and the fact that it encouraged exploration, like, a lot more than any other DLCs that was inside of the Dark Souls games. Alright. The OG Dragon Rider. The one that people that speedrun the game just have fall off a cliff and drop dead. I personally like to honor duel the guy, but that's just me. I'll put him below his twin counterparts because of the fact that it's just one of them and it's got a gimmick where you're able to just get him to fall to his death. Dark Eater Medir. Oh, S tier. He made my buddy Steven lose 1 million souls because he forgot to pick them up. S tier. S for Steven. Alright. The Demon of Song. It has a similar gimmick to the Duke's Deer Freya, but I like its move pool a lot more. It's a lot more easy to punish and a lot more easy to, like, get to where it's like I'm able to cause it damage. It is like, I'll actually probably put it top of C tier. Ornstein and Smo, such a great fight, but I'm going to have to put it A tier, like below the Abyss Watchers, just because of the fact that, like, I don't know, I like, depending on the phase 2 you get, like, Super Ornstein is like a lot more difficult than Super Smo, though that's just my opinion. Alrighty then. The Centipede Demon, a completely skippable boss that's also going to be inside of Night Rain. You're able to get a ring that makes you walk on lava. Overall, I'd say, like, it's okay if you open up the shortcut by doing the Fair Lady questline, like joining her covenant, giving her 30 humanities. Like, you don't even have to do this boss. He is optional. His fight is kind of bullshit, and good God does it hurt your eyes if you're going inside of, like, OG Dark Souls 1, like Prepare to Die edition, because the lava is so fucking bright. I'll put it below Freya. Like, if you're playing, like, a ranged build, the fight's, like, somewhat alright. But if you're playing, like, a melee build, you literally have to take a bunch of cheap pot shots while this thing slowly approaches you. It is such a pain in the dick. Oh, these two. If I remember right, there's a gimmick where if you down one and you're not aggressive enough on the other, they will literally revive the other one back from the dead. It is such an annoying mechanic, and they were trying to copy the Ornstein and Smo dynamic, but it was just executed very poorly. I'll put them here. Actually, I think I'm going to move Champion Gundyr above the Belfry Gargoyles, and I am, like, that's just because of the fact that I think Gundyr is neat and cool. Oh, Manus, Father of the Abyss. Also, father of 4 women that straight up tried ending entire nations because they wanted to, like, basically fulfill his will. Honestly, like, if I had to, like, okay, so there's a cheese you're able to do where you're able to kill him without entering the boss fog using a bow and arrow, and when I streamed my magic run and I was fighting him, I was super annoyed because I did the whole thing where you're able to rescue Sif, and Sif was so fucking useless inside of that fight. Though, killing him, you're able to get, like, a couple cool things. I don't know. I think, like, narrative-wise, he's cool. I'm going to have to... Wait, why did... No, I want it to be bottom of S tier below Sif, because Sif gives me depression, and that is far more important than actual boss difficulty. Alright. The Moonlight Butterfly. Pretty ass fight. And yeah, I'm just going to put it in the Y tier, because even when you encounter others later in the game and you are able to, like, aggro them, which I've done before just to, like, see, like, can you actually hit these other Moonlight Butterflies, or are they just, like, visual decoration? It's kind of cool. Like, it does this, like, something similar to what Midir does, where, like, he follows you throughout the level. You literally are able to see it just, like, chilling on a building before it comes and fights you. So that's pretty cool. The Covetous Demon. I'm not a fan of the Covetous Demon. It is so incredibly ass that it is, like, you almost have to try hard to die to this boss. And apparently it's got a move where it'll eat you and unequip your armor and weapons, and then all you gotta do is just re-equip that shit, and you're able to just kill him that way. Such an ass boss fight. He deserves to be in the Y tier. I'd say like bottom of Y tier. Actually, why did I put the Moonlight Butterfly so high on the Y tier? Alrighty then. Ooh, the Scholar of the First Sin himself. Such an annoying fight. I fought him inside of my Faith Only run, and that was so fucking annoying. And you gotta do this massive quest before you're even able to attempt to fight him. Like, and the only time I ever fought him was inside that Faith Only run, because I didn't want to do that quest again and then deal with the fact that like I was only dealing like 70 damage per hit or something like that. It was so fucking annoying. The Last Giant. It's got cool lore. I like the fact that like you travel back in time, you fuck him up, and then when you fight him at the beginning of the game, like he's like, "Hey, I fucking remember you. You're the guy that fucked me up. I want my get back." So I'm putting him at A tier. Like, I love time travel shit, but like this is him post being fucked up. King Vendrick. Oh, if Sif got up here because of depression, then he gets up here because of depression. I could go further in depth, but depression, automatic S tier. Alright then. The Rotten. Such an ass boss fight, and more often than not, I wind up dying due to the poison that I get before even entering the arena. Not very good, but still better than the Duke's Dear Freya. Vort of the Boreal Valley. I like Vort. His armor is super cool looking. I wish that you were able to get it in game, but you know, you can't. I'm pretty sure that somebody added like a fan-made DLC or like mod where you're able to get it, that I've seen some people play a while back. Shoot, I wonder if my PC can run Dark Souls 3. I tried running Elden Ring and it doesn't work, so I still am only able to play that on my Xbox. But if I'm able to get Dark Souls 3 running on this PC, then I'm definitely going to like play Dark Souls 3 on PC, and then like probably going to go through the whole trilogy doing the same type of challenge run the whole way through. But like Vort, like I like Vort. He's alright with me. I'm gonna put him above the Dragon Riders here in D tier. And I'm starting to realize that like Pinwheel being where he is really kind of bad. Maybe I should lower him to D tier, maybe top of D tier. Then again, like I do like it more than I'll have to consider once I get things like further placed down that way, like I got my judgments better. Alright then, the Crystal Sage, absolutely ass boss fight. I hate the Shadow Clone Jutsu, but I do like the rapier that you get after killing it, being able to increase item discovery. That's how I wound up getting every single like Covenant item, was just farming them from enemies, and the Crystal Sage rapier is essential inside that. It is such an easy boss fight too. It's like to the point where more often than not I'm able to predict exactly where it's going to spawn. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. Shoot, Pinwheel also does a Shadow Clone Jutsu. God, if I do a Dark Souls D&D, like I have a feeling that like I'm just going to spam Shadow Clone Jutsu with certain bosses. Alright then. The Royal Rat Vanguard. It's just a bunch of rats, and then you kill them inside of an area full of rats, and then you kill the rat with a mohawk. It is not good. Regular Index Gundyr. Incredibly difficult fight, and fighting him early game, like, this is the corrupted version of him that was damaged by you in the future. Gotta say, in the entire trilogy, the hardest first boss you could face. Well, unless you're playing Dark Souls 2 and your first boss is is fucking Alva, because if you get 1 million souls in your soul memory, you're able to enter into Castle Drang Lake. Then you're able to pick up the key to the DLC, and then Alva could be your first boss. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but you know, it is an option for a first boss. So outside of Alva, I think that Index Gundyr is the best of the first bosses, but I'm going to have to put him below the champion variant, which is harder. They're like, you whittle this guy down phase 1, you get into phase 2, you hit him with black fire bombs that you get when you create your character, and he just drops. Alrighty then. Nishandra. In all honesty, like, I was surprised when that twist happened where it's just like, wait a minute, tall lady has big skeleton? No. My waifu was Bones. But, and like, if you complete the DLCs and defeat Vendrick and get his crown, any crowns you get will make you immune to the curse condition, which is her biggest thing, is the fact that she's able to curse you. So, you know, since you're not able to turn hollow, you're not affected by curse, which makes her entire, like, boss gimmick entirely nullified. She is not that hard. She's, in all honesty, like, probably the second weakest of her sisters, next to the wife of the Ivory King. But she's a non-combatant, so, you know, I'm not counting her. But out of the 3 sisters, I think that she is the weakest of them. Also, like, from a design perspective, shoot, there's also the sister that was dead, too, but yeah, given that these 2 are the only 2 that you actually fight, and she is far weaker than him, because she's able to summon Vendrick, yeah. Alrighty then. The Taurus Demon, alright. I like the fact they were able to just spam cheese a bunch of them later on in the game. I like the fact that it repeats the Asylum Demon boss gimmick, where it's just like, yeah, you're able to land a plunge attack on him for like a shit ton of damage, and then on top of that with the lightning resin, you're able to get in the Undead Burge before you're able to fight him. Like I think that he's alright. He's just kind of like an obstacle in your way. Overall, not that hard. I think more often than not, I've died because he's knocked me out of the arena. But if you just roll into him when he goes for like his heavy attack, like, he literally doesn't hit you. So I'm going to put him in D tier. I'm starting to realize, like, I'm taking bosses I actually like mechanically, and I'm putting them in the same fucking category as the Centipede Demon. Crazy. Seath the Sex Offender. The guy that puts you inside of his sex dungeon to be his plaything. Alright. You know what? Like, I like to meme about the guy. I like to joke. The fact that you're able to get the Moonlight Greatsword by cutting off his tail, which is super difficult because he's constantly, like, using those front 2 tentacles to literally push you out of the way when you're trying to just get to that back tail. So summoning somebody for jolly cooperation so that you're able to, like, get back there is neat. I hate the fact that, like, the maiden set that you're able to get inside of his sex dungeon has the highest curse, like, some of the highest curse resistance in the game. And, like, the implications there just are incredibly uncomfy. Like, boss fight wise, like, relatively decent, but I'm going to have to put him below the Belfry Gargoyles reluctantly. Oh, the Mirror Knight. Oh, wait, is that the Mirror Knight? The Looking Glass Knight is what it's called. Alright. Yeah, he is so cool. And, like, the fact that if you place down a red summon sign in his area, there's a chance that you'll be shot out of his shield. I've only ever had that happen once, and I didn't start playing Dark Souls 2 until 2017. So that's a cool mechanic. I like the fact that, like, Aesthetically, he is just fucking awesome to look at. And I love his arena. I love the music. Overall, pretty great boss. I'm going to put him above Index Gundyr, but under Champion Gundyr. Alright. Oh, the Grave Robbers? Yeah. Top of Y tier. It's just 3 NPCs that jump you. It is so fucking annoying. The Capper Demon. Oh my fucking god. It isn't even the Capper Demon is the boss. The Capper Demon is the pet of the 2 dogs that are the actual boss. It is so fucking easy. As soon as you kill the dogs, like, easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you're facing, like, the dogs really are the fucking nightmare in this boss fight. It's got no reason to be there. The only reason he's there is specifically to have a key. So I'm putting him in Y because of the fact that, like, it's not even him that's the boss. It's the fucking dogs. Alright. Oh, that's the boss fight. Oh, Prowling Magus and Congregation. A room full of sick people that you just straight up slaughter. Like, you stumble in on these people, they're just like, oh, we're affected by the undead curse, please. Prowling Magus, heal us. Make us human again. We do not desire the undead curse. And it's just like, alright, I'll do that. And then you show up and you just fucking kill everybody. Like, I want to put it in the Y tier, but I also want to put it in D tier just because, like, I find it hilarious that you're just beating up a bunch of sick people and the people that are trying to heal them. Yeah, here's where I'm going to put it. Oh, Crossbreed Priscilla. I love her. She's so fucking cute. And she gives you, like, the option to leave. Oh, man. Lore-wise, one of the strongest characters in the franchise. But she gets her own special tier, alright? Create a row above. And I'm going to... like, I'm going to name this tier... Hold on, I'm going to change its color to white, okay? To feet. So yes, she is the first boss to go into the feet tier. In honor of Miyazaki and his foot fetish, she is going into feet tier. It is above S tier. It is feet tier. Alright then, the Dark Lurker. Such a cool looking boss. I've only ever fought him once because there's like a whole complicated quest that's easy to fail to fight him. He is so cool looking. He does have an annoying quest to fight him. So I'm just going to put him here. Just because, like, I like Index Gundyr more because I've fought him more. Like, I've only fought this guy once. Killed him. Low diff. And, like, now that I think about it, he also had Shadow Clone Jutsu. I should have put him in C tier because, like, I didn't want to do the annoying ass quest, but like his designs got him so much farther up than he needs to be. You know what? Fuck it. I'm putting him right above them. That way he's right by his Shadow Clone using friends. Okay then. The OG, the Asylum Demon. The gatekeeper of many first-time Dark Souls players that don't realize that the entire level is designed specifically for you to land that plunge attack. I don't think I've ever fought... Actually, no, never mind, that's a lie. I did fight him once without getting my starting equipment. And when, specifically because I was demonstrating to one of my friends, like the firebomb method, where you just firebomb him and he drops dead. That is the one time I've fought him without having to gather my weapons. Aside from, like, I think I did once when I went to New Game Plus where I just beat him with my endgame gear. I'm going to put it below Index Gundyr just because of the fact that I hate the fact that the Asylum Demon is literally repeated 2 more times. Alright then. The Iron Golem. Yo, the goat himself, Tarkus, can kill this thing for you, and it is such a cool fight. I'm going to have to put him just above Index Gundyr and underneath the Looking Glass Knight. Alright. And I'm not ranking these by difficulty, it's just how much I like the fight. Or like just the lore of the characters. Alrighty then. Oh, this is the Poison Dragon from the end of the Poison DLC. Alright. It's actually like a pretty decent dragon fight. So I'll like probably put it at like bottom of A tier. Just because like it is a cool dragon fight, and on top of that, like the whole lore where it's just like, oh yeah, there was this dragon and like he lived peacefully and harmoniously with everyone, and he had so much poison inside of him. And then this fucking bitch stabbed him, and all the poison he had inside of him killed fucking everybody. And now he's just like injured and just trying to like mind his own fucking business. Alrighty then. The Sanctuary Guardian. Killing this guy in my bow only run I streamed was so fucking hype. Like when I finally got it done. I am a bit disappointed in myself that I never killed Artorias or got to show off on that particular stream that like you're able to just cheese Manus, but I don't know. It's an okay boss fight. It shoots lightning attack at the it shoots a lightning attack and also could deal poison damage to you. And the lightning attack is on water, so it does extra damage. He flies around, super annoying in that way. And then when you leave and you come back, there are just fucking 2 of them. Like, I'm like, it is a B tier, but I'm not sure whether like, you know, I'll put it below the Looking Glass Knight. Sister Frida, feet tier. I'm just noticed this, but they're both in feet tier and they both use scythes. That's crazy. Alrighty then. The Guardian Dragon. Oh, so they're counting the dragon that is on the bridge as a boss. I mean, arrow spam, this motherfucker, like, he's not even an actual fucking boss. Fuck, I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, that was awkward. My grandma just decided to call me. Oh, fuck, I didn't realize that I... in the middle of recording a fucking video. I thought I hung up on her. But yeah, the Guardian Dragon, not even an actual boss, so I will put it at the bottom. Alright then, Calamite. Okay then. I think killing him gets you the Calanthropy ring, or whatever it's called, the ring that increases the amount of damage that you take. Which, you know, is incredibly stupid. There are very few instances you want to take more damage unless you're specifically trying to get into Red Tearstone range. And the fact that this guy is an end of DLC boss that you're able to, like, unless you're doing like challenge runs or trying to get into RTS range, like, it's a good boss fight, mind you. Like, it's a decent enough dragon fight. Not the best, not the worst. And like, all dragon fights aside from like fucking 1 and I guess both of these, like, this isn't even a real dragon and this isn't even a real boss. But I gotta say, like, all dragon fights are A tier. I just think that like he's probably bottom. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll put him here. Like, when it comes down to where he is and like what he is, like, kind of pointless. it's super cool watching him get sniped out the air by a blind giant. But that's where I'm putting him. Aldrich, Devourer of Gods. The slime that ate a femboy ass first and then controlled his corpse. Like, I want to put him, I'll like he's got such an annoying moveset, and he does start by like Gwendolyn I like to make fun of for being a femboy who has snake feet. I'll put him like top of C tier. Alright. Velstadt. Such a cool introduction to the boss. In all honesty, probably one of my favorite boss opening cutscenes. It's just him praying with his bell, which you can use as I think both a great hammer and a spell casting catalyst. Well, for miracles. He is such a cool boss. He is so important lore wise. If you fight against the why am I drawing a blank on his name? I think my grandma calling me mentally threw me off. But the Fume Knight, yeah, the Fume Knight. He is so fucking cool. Alright. Yeah, actually I think I might like him more than the Abyss Watchers. Because, if you go into the Fume Knight fight with his helmet on, he goes into Phase 2. And a lot of people say that his Phase 2 is harder. I find his Phase 2 to be a lot easier if you go in with Velstadt's helmet. The fact that there is an enemy who specifically will go all out on you just because of the fact that he has a murder boner for this guy. He is the best friend of King Vendrick. That's why he was standing guard, so that his evil bitch of a wife Nishandra doesn't wind up getting his ring. That way she won't be able to make her way to the kiln of the first flame. Such a cool boss. Both lore wise, fight wise, cutscene wise. Alrighty then. And now for the femboy. I'm renaming this to... Yes. Feet and femboys. Miyazaki's two fetishes. Just above S tier. Don't need to say anything. Alrighty then. Oh, this is the pantsless guy that people wear, they'll do builds where they're trying to be like Sasuke, but the Spear of the Church. He, in and of himself, not that difficult of a boss fight. The fact that they summon Painting Guardians, I think is interesting, and they can be a bit annoying. But when you get a player, it ranges from being incredibly good to incredibly terrible. I love the Spear of the Church Covenant. It is by far my favorite covenant in Dark Souls 3, which sucks because of the fact that I'm next to never summoned for it, even when I got a dried finger going and I got the covenant going. So I'll put it at bottom of D tier just because of the fact that you're either getting another player and it's just PvP, or you're getting this guy who is used primarily people just use his shirt for Sasuke builds. Alrighty. Oh, her, yeah, the girl that poisoned herself and cut off her own head because she was trying to get with the old Iron King and was just oh, need to be beautiful. I'm just going to decapitate myself. I'm pretty sure everybody at this point knows the windmill thing where you burn it and it removes the poison from her arena. I'm putting her at B tier for basic bitch. If she had feet, she would be in feet tier, but she is lacking in feet, therefore, like B tier is where I think it's perfect for her. A lot more balanced of a fight than fucking Eldritch. Eldritch's fight is just bullshit because, like, if he decides to do the air, like, a lot of his moves are fair until he busts out the arrow rain. Artorias, like, I'm putting him in the S tier. It would be a disservice to put him in the S tier, even though his allies, like, gave him credit for your deeds on killing Manus. He is the hype. There's a reason why when people do Dark Souls content, they'll typically, like, put Artorias or, like, Solaire or the Chosen, not the Chosen Undead, the Bearer of the Curse. They'll also put him on, like, their thumbnails. He is so cool. I like Artorias. Alright then. The Dragon Slayer armor. The axe is basically the first weapon I ever beat Dark Souls 3 with. It is incredibly powerful. I like the fight mechanically. It is such a power check for, like, the final stages of the game. I'm going to put him in B tier just because of the fact that you do also fight him, like, again inside of the Ringed City DLC, and then you actually get his armor. I'm just saying, like, personally, like, I really enjoyed him, but it's the fact that he does become a repeat boss and inside of a paid DLC is the one thing that doesn't put him higher. He is deserving of A tier, but because you fight him twice, that's what puts him in B tier. Osiris and his invisible baby. Like, I actually heard a pretty interesting theory, like, so I'm just going to plop him into B tier where he belongs and then explain this theory. So the theory is, although there are half-breeds that are also shown throughout the series, like Priscilla, and they have the power to turn invisible, and so, like, because of the fact that his abilities involve, like, casting magic and stuff like that with his crystal breath, the theory is that he uses a form of illusion magic, and because he's so fucking mentally insane, he's physically carrying nothing, but because he believes that he has a baby, he is unconsciously creating audible magic that just is the sound of a baby crying. And that is such a fucking crazy ass theory where it's just like, damn, that's cool as hell. Even though, like, there are in-game assets where they originally wanted to put the baby in, but, you know, instead, invisible baby. Alright then. Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. In all honesty, a little bit of a letdown when it came down to the actual fight. I think he's the only boss in Dark Souls 1 that you can actually parry. And lore-wise, like, he is the pinnacle of everything, which makes him deserving of being S tier if you're just going off of lore. But mechanically in the fight, he is just not up there. So it would be a disservice to put him in A, so I will put him in S, though mechanically he doesn't deserve it. If I'm just going off of lore and how much I like him, I'll put him, like, below the Burnt Ivory King. Like, the Burnt Ivory King's got cool lore and a cool boss mechanic, but, like, Gwyn, yeah, you just go up to him and you beat his ass. He is not that good of a boss fight. Fume Knight, like, in my opinion, the third hardest boss fight in the entire trilogy. So I am putting him right underneath Madeir, who I think has the number 1 spot. The Fume Knight is so fucking difficult, and, like, I do appreciate the fact that the game does give you NPCs that you're able to summon to fight alongside you to take him out. that doesn't make it any easier. And I like the fact that he's got a grudge with Velstat. That's pretty cool. High Lord Wolnir. Okay, then. Hear me out on this. I'm putting him in B tier right above Mitha. And, like, yes, you just gotta break his bracelets. But that's kind of like the funny part about it. Also, the fact that you get a great sword from him that essentially gives you Wrath of the Gods without having the requirements for Wrath of the Gods. Sure, it has a shorter range. Like, you pick up a Pyromancy Tome. He has a memorable fight. Like, other bosses, you fight them and it's just like, yeah, whatever, that's the boss. He, like, is, like, from everything about him, like, if you go and pick up the book, he makes himself known and visible. But the fact that he summons the dark, and then, like, if you kill him without breaking his bracelets, the dark literally consumes him. So something within the dark took this giant skeleton and fucking swallowed him whole. And he was fearful of it. Alright then. The Ruined Sentinels. You do fight them later on as enemies, and, like, I'll put them D tier. Don't really have much to say about them. The run up to get to them, just because of how easy it is to get stun locked and just completely fucked over by the hollows leading up to it. And then, like, it's a mediocre fight. Actually, you know what? Since it's just a mediocre fight, I will put it in C tier. Alrighty then. The Cursed Rotted Greatwood. The Dick Arm puts him in D. Yes, you get boss weapons after killing him, but I don't know. I never really liked the fact that you basically, for the first part, it's like, you hit his fat hand, then you hit his ankle, and then you just repeatedly hit his balls. Go behind him, pop his back pimples, go to the other side, break some of his leg acne, and then you go and you pop more pimples, then you just go for his balls, try to ignore the hand, while he just repeatedly slams down trying to hit you with his shit water. Not that good of a fight. Alright. The Nameless King. Oh my lord. I love the Nameless King. Such a cool boss fight. Though, it becomes completely trivialized if you're a Faith build, like you use that lightning arrow miracle and in phase 1 to take out the dragon because it does like crazy damage, and then you use Dorothy's Gnawing in phase 2 and just bleed him out while avoiding his attacks. Like, it completely trivializes it. I've only ever beaten him a handful of times without using that particular method, but you know, it is so cool. It is such an interesting boss fight, and the fact that he is the son of Gwyn, who had his name stricken from the annals of history for siding with dragons. So cool. I just wish that his boss weapons were cooler and, like, worked better mechanically. Alrighty then. The Gaping Dragon. Ooh, the Pussy Dragon. I hate the fact that every time I summon Solaire, he next to never uses his lightning spear. He tries to run up and 1v1 him with his sword and then winds up dying. It's just like, dude, you literally have a super effective move. Like, Solaire, use Thunderbolt! And Solaire just hurts himself in his own confusion. I don't know. Such a cool boss fight. I like it. I like it a lot. And then you're able to break off its tail for a weapon. That's so cool. Alrighty then. The Old Demon King. One of the quintessential bosses anytime I'm playing Dark Souls 3 for a boss that is non-essential. Like, a completely skippable boss. I do enjoy the fact that once you kill him, you're able to essentially get an attack, which it's like Escanor's Cruel Sun. A couple years back, I did an Escanor cosplay build, and I just focused on, like boosting my pyromancies to the maximum potential and using the, like, we don't even call it by its name in my friends group. We literally just call it the sun. And because of the fact that, like, that it is a quintessential boss for every Dark Souls 3 playthrough. Even if I'm not playing as a pyromancer, I always make sure to get that very technique. Alright. The Lost Sinner. I don't think I've ever fought the Lost Sinner without lighting the arena. Apparently it makes it a lot more difficult of a fight. I think I've only ever lost the Lost Sinner twice, which is crazy because in a lot of people's rankings of Dark Souls 2 bosses, it is considered to be one of the stronger ones. But in my opinion, like, I've lost to so many other bosses in Dark Souls 2. I think, like, I've only lost to the Lost Sinner once or twice. And both times I was drunk. So, like, I'm going to put it above the Asylum Demon because, like, it is a little bit cooler. I do like the fact that the helmet you get after killing it, or, like, I think that one increases carry weight, and then, like, the shackle increases pyromancies. But, yeah. Alright, the Four Kings. Shadow Clone Jutsu, plus using the power of the dark. Alright. Ooh, I should move the Rune Sentinels. All my Shadow Clone users are right here, and I do think that actually it is a little bit better than the Crystal Sage. Definitely worse than Dark Lurker. Alright. The Ancient Wyvern. First time I killed the Ancient Wyvern, I did not know about the plunge attack method. I just, like, wound up whacking its ankles until it died. Now it's just plunge attack and dead. So, and, like, the actual boss is the Snake Man with the chain axe. It's a gimmick boss where you just land one attack and it's dead. So, you know, I'm putting it... Oh, man. I literally earlier was saying that, oh, all dragon types are A tier minimum. And then I said that after putting 2 dragons in Y tier. And then I put this fucking thing in D tier. Alright. I caught myself being a liar. Shoot, might want to change my name to Sun if that's the case. Like, just going around spreading misinformation. Okay, then. The Stray Demon. It is a repeat boss, but it is better than the Fire Sage in the fact that it, like, doesn't have, like, necessarily as big of, like, lore implications. But it is a repeat boss. It's in the way of you picking up a ring. And in my opinion, a little bit harder than the Fire Sage. Najka, I like to summon her husband and fight her with him. Interesting boss, but she is just a poor man's Quelaag. Wait a second, have I put Quelaag on here? I don't think I did, because if I did, like, Quelaag would be inside a feet tier, and you know what? She's topless. Like, she is worse than Quelaag because, like, I don't, like, mechanically, at least with Quelaag we get the cutscene where it's all close up on her. Yeah, there's Quelaag right there, and I haven't put her anywhere. You know, I'm just going to, like, she wasn't next on the list, but I am putting Quelaag at the second to the top of feet tier. Just getting that out the way. The Skeleton Lords is just, like, 3 guys sitting on what are essentially, like, lifeguard chairs, and then after you kill them, it's basically you just getting jumped by a bunch of skeletons. Alright. Oh, this is just a repeat. Not like, these are the 2 that are at the end of Reindeer Fuckland. So they... Oh, shoot, I don't want to create a row below. And
Oh, no, I didn't mean to move it up. I meant to change its color to purple. Putting it in the Hellknot category. Like, I've only ever made it to this boss twice and killed it once because of the fact that I had to go through Reindeer Fuckland. It is so fucking annoying. I hate this boss with a passion. Wait. Oh, I see now. I was like, why is D tier there? I was about to move a boss to the Hellknot portion. Like, actually, never mind. These guys can stay inside of the Y portion. Alrighty then. The Royal Rat Authority. It is basically a poor man's Sif. The like the rats that are there before you even fight it are actually the bigger threat than it. Any big enemy like this, you go beneath it and you just whack at its feet. But given that it is a boss that, like, in my opinion, better than the Vanguard because, like, it gives you an actual boss, but I don't like the fact that it's literally just a couple of rats in a room plus a boss. It's the Capra Demon situation, but worse. But at least the boss itself has some difficulty to it. So I think having it at the bottom of D tier, right above the Diarrhea Dick Arm Haver and the Covenant where it's just players. Alrighty then. Deacons of the Deep. So a bunch of enemies that you fight throughout the entire level, and then a Pope. Wait a second. I think I saw a clip where it was like Spanish news, like some Spanish news site covering the Pope's inauguration, and there was somebody playing Dark Souls 3 going up against Pontiff Sullivan wearing the outfit from this. So, you know what? Like, because of just like the memes, like from that, like the meme ability of that, I am going to put it in A tier, even though like it should be in the Y tier. I'm putting it in A tier because, like, just because of the fact that I find that hilarious. Like, oh yes, we're covering that we got a new Pope. Let's show somebody's Dark Souls 3 playthrough where they fought against Pontiff Sullivan dressed as the Pope. Slave Knight Gale, oh my god. One of the greatest boss fights in the series. And, like, although not the most difficult, like, I love his lore. I love his storyline. I love everything about him. He is one of my favorite characters in fiction in general. So top of S tier. Nothing could change my mind. Pontiff Sullivan, who was originally supposed to be the final boss of Dark Souls 3, but they later on changed their mind. I think that he is cool. I'm going to put him inside of A tier. Like, I think that that's like a pretty good spot for him. He is like perfect difficulty for the middle of the ground. You get a bunch of like even if you're struggling with him, they do give you like some NPCs that you're able to summon for the fight if you're playing offline. Pretty decent fight. I like the fact that he has a Shadow Clone user outside of C tier. I may have made a blunder there, but you know what? It is what it is. Alright. Okay then. So, the Blueberry Smelter Demon. In my opinion, it is worse than the original, and the boss run back is quite literally the second worst in the entire series. I'm trying to see where I could find, like, I'm trying to remember my placement for where I put the other Smelter Demon, because, like, I just want to put it right below, there he is, right in B tier. Gonna put him up, yeah. I do think that, like, its boss weapon is cool, so, like, and the fact that it pairs with the red one. So if you get both Smelter Demon swords and you're, like, dual wielding them, like power stance, it aesthetically look so fucking sick and clean. So yeah, putting them right next to each other, literally worst boss run back of the franchise. You're able to summon NPCs and they're likely to die before you're even able to make your way to him. Grave Lord Nito. Funny enough, my stepdad, his last name is Nito, so I think I texted him once, like, hey, Scott killed your cousin. And, like, I showed him a picture of Gravelord Nito, and he's just like, I don't get that. What is that? I'm like, oh, the guy's name is Gravelord Nito, and he's just like, damn, you did my cousin dirty. So, like, lore-wise, he is up there. Boss fight-wise, not really. He summons a bunch of skeletons, and they are a much bigger threat than him. But once you go underneath his legs and start beating the ever-loving piss out of him, he just drops dead, and that is a Lord Soul down. It is cool that you're able to join a covenant and go grave lording. The miracle that he winds up giving you is super powerful early game. Like, the amount of damage it does, and then the fact that, like, it's an AoE type thing. Like, it's pretty cool. And then you're also able to get a long sword, like a long curved sword that I believe deals either poison or toxic damage. Either way, it is fucking a sick weapon to have early game. The old Iron King and his old Iron Hole. I'm putting him inside of D tier. I'm just trying to figure out how high or low I want to put him. Because the one Turtle Knight can be annoying when you're going from the bonfire that's like right next to his boss fog. And then you've got to deal with the fact that you're just risking being put inside of his hole. And his hole is the main thing that winds up killing you. You know, if it was just the hole, it would be S tier. But it is the old Iron King, so that is what puts them in D tier. Alright, Prince Lothric and Lorien. I don't like the fact that he's able to revive Lorien, but the fact that his health bar decreases every time that he revives him is incredibly cool. And, like, they are both incestuously bred, and I just love those old shorts I used to do where I would make fun of, like, the Dark Souls lore, where it's just like, dear brother, nobody knows our brotherly love. Let me mount you. And you're literally fighting them inside of their bedroom where they share a bed together. Like, before, Mikola and his brother Radahn were sharing a bed. These two brothers were sharing a bed. These two were the original Wincest twins. Well, Wincest brothers. Gwyn has a history of incest, case in point. The incest, like, I also liked the jokes I'd make about him being an inbred femboy with a sister/mommy kink. So, you know, like, just because of the fact that I like memeing about them, their feet, actually, no, wait, he is wearing the Quelana set, and Quelana set does not have shoes, therefore it is bare feet. And although only one of the brothers has his feet exposed, that is enough to put him on the feet and femboy side. Just because the Dom, like, just because the paralyzed one has his feet covered and isn't a femboy, like, you know, it's difficult because it's got both bare feet and femboy, but then it also has, you know, I'll put it above him just because it also includes incest. This is... Never mind, I'm not going to add incest because then I'd also have to add Gwyn to it. And the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. Because she is a daughter of Guinevere. Like, who else would I have to add to the incest tier list? I thought there was another example that I could have added, but I guess not. The Soul of Cinder. Okay, then. Like, lore-wise and what he is incredibly cool. It is just such a basic boss fight. And I'm going to put him, like, above Gwyn, even though he is Gwyn. So he is the amalgamation of every single individual who has linked the first flame. And phase 1 is him shifting between all of the fighting styles that are, like, inside of his soul, inside of his memory of being all of those people. So, like, you as the bearer of the curse, every build you've had inside of Dark Souls 1 and 2, where you were fighting and you wound up linking the flames. He is the amalgamation of everyone who has done that and or failed to link the flames before. So technically, like, so he is you. He is your fucking buddy named Dave who plays Dark Souls. He is fucking all of you. He is all of us who have beaten the previous games. And then once you whittle him down to phase 2, Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, the very first to link the flame, winds up taking control. And that is why, like, that is such a cool thing. Like, this is me. This is you. This is the entire community. That, lore-wise, that is who he is. And that is who you fight in phase 1. You are fighting yourself. You are fighting your friends. And you are fighting every NPC who failed to link the flames. So every other Ashen one. So you're fighting Sigurd. You're fighting Patches. Miyazaki said that if you decide to quit Dark Souls 1, that it's Solaire that winds up leaking the flame. So he is also Solaire. He is Sister Frida as well, who is in the feat tier, where she rightfully belongs. Alright. Oh, yes, the Giant Lord. So cool. Like, I put the last giant in A tier because of the fact that he is also the Giant Lord. And I'm going to put him above him because you fight him in his prime, and that's when you injure him. That's when you give him this injury and mess him up. But the war with the giants that Vendrick wound up fighting... Where did I put Vendrick? Ah, there he is. I'm actually going to put Vendrick above him. Above the Demon Prince. But the war he went to for his wife because she misled him was against him and his people. And although you're able to... Like, it is so cinematic going up to it. You literally have to evade a statue head from crushing you. And like, I could praise this guy all day. It's an incredibly fun fight, incredibly cool fight. I'm just going to stop the glaze. Alright then. You know, I see two that are automatically going into the Y tier. The Repeat Belfry Gargoyles, bottom of Y tier. And the Dark Souls 2 Ornstein, I'm putting at top of Y tier. Still a pretty decent fight. It is an Ornstein, just not as powerful of an Ornstein, and then you're able to fight him beginning of game. Like, and he's a Dragon Slayer being guarded by a dragon. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? Sir Alan. Oh my gosh. I've never gotten him to the cutscene where he commits seppuku. If you wind up, like, facing him and you take 0 damage, like, I've never gotten him to do that. But the fact that he is an honorable warrior with both a Western and Eastern aesthetic going towards him, where he adopts, like, bits and pieces of armor from the old Iron King. He is such an honor-bound and honor-driven character. He is just so fucking cool. I just hate the boss run to him because I wind up, like, going through a lot of my healing resources before I even make it there. I've killed him, like, a handful of times. Incredibly difficult to fight. But, yeah, definitely, like, an S tier opponent. And the Flexile Sentry. Alright, I like the fact that the water rising is an interesting mechanic because it slows down your character. But and like also the mechanic where like he's got two sides to him, so you're not able to like go to once like you're not able to like sneak behind him and avoid getting hit like a lot of other bosses inside of Dark Souls 2. And I think difficulty wise, he is perfect for where he is in game, which is part of the reason why like I put the Belfry gargoyles as high as I did. Where did I put them? I put them here. Yeah. I don't know. I know that there's another pyromancy flame that you're able to get without having to fight this guy. That's like inside of that big ass hole that you got inside of Majula. But the fact that if you don't go down that giant hole, this guy is basically safeguarding the only other way that you could play as a pyromancer. So, yeah, that's my thoughts towards the Flexile Sentry. Like, overall, I think that, like, this is a pretty decent list. Like, clearly the worst one here because you gotta go through Reindeer Fuckland to fight him. But, yeah, like, Priscilla, perfect placement. Actually, maybe put Gwendolyn. Wait, no. Although he is a femboy, he has snakes for feet. This is the ultimate boss of Dark Souls. Lothric and Lorien, femboy and feet, and incest. Best boss.